In today's webinar, we're going to see how to incorporate AI into your spreadsheet workflow. We all use spreadsheets and AI all the time, but the problem is always connecting them both together, like AI working inside your spreadsheets for you. And with this webinar, we're hoping to bridge that gap and make sure you can work with AI and spreadsheets at the same time. So you can also check us out on our socials where we post tips and tricks about spreadsheets. We also have our YouTube tutorials that you can also look for long form content. We also recently celebrated our 20 years anniversary of Zoho Sheet, where we also ran a series on Instagram and other platforms as well. You can check that out. We did a little prison escape room sort of thing based around spreadsheets, so make sure you check that out as well. And here's the agenda for today's webinar. We'll discuss about Zoho Sheet and MCP. I'll tell you what MCP is, and then we'll move on to how to connect Zoho Sheet and MCP. And we'll see how to connect Zia Agents and Zoho Sheet. You can create your own custom agent and set in instructions for it to follow. And we'll also discuss Zoho Sheet CLI, which is recently released, and we'll talk about what are the capabilities of it with AI. And we'll also talk about our AI assistant, Zia, which is built in as well. And what is Zoho Sheet? We are a free cloud-based spreadsheet app that is built for modern teams. You can share, do a lot of things there, and you can also create new spreadsheets, edit your existing ones, bring in your XLSX files and work on them and everything else. Zoho Sheet is also part of Zoho's Office suite, which includes Zoho Writer, it's a word processor, and also Zoho Show, an online presentation software. We also have desktop apps for Windows and macOS, and we also release offline apps for Android as well. We all know that AI is changing the way we work with spreadsheets. So I think all these years we've been using it with a lot of manual effort for sure, writing in formulas, learning how to use that formula, where to use the formula, and which one is really relevant to our data and what do you use as well. There are definitely a lot of formulas out there, but choosing to use the right one has always been a bit of a difficult task for a lot of people, and building dashboards from scratch and everything. So with this webinar, we're planning to close that gap between your AI and spreadsheets, where AI can give you answers before MCP and so many things as well. So we're going to see how to bridge that gap for you, and we will see how to like automate some of your repetitive tasks, just get things done in with no clicks and everything, just through MCP and Zia Agents as well. We have 4 sections in this webinar, which is the first section is what is MCP and how to connect Zoho Sheet with your MCP. So we have a product called Zoho MCP in Zoho. So we'll discuss what MCP is first, and then we'll move on to that. So think of MCP as the bridge that connects your ChatGPT or Claude directly to your business apps. So business apps can be spreadsheets, your CRM, So for this use case, I'm just going to show you how to connect Zoho Sheet to MCP, but you can connect other Zoho apps as well, like I said. You can even connect other third-party apps that MCP supports. So you're going to directly give Claude access to your Zoho Sheet, and then that will go on to write you formulas and build trackers and automate tasks just through natural language, just like how you and I type into any other AI that we regularly use. So I'm just going to show you the simple setup that we use, and then we'll go on to build a lead tracker template like I told you. So go to create MCP server and give it a name. So I'm just going to say Zoho Sheet and click create. So now we can add in the tools that you want. So my tool here is going to be Zoho Sheet and all of its API that I need to give access to MCP for. So click on add tools, sheet, and these are the APIs that are available right now. We do not have options like adding in charts or conditional formattings yet. Once then you'll be able to add them as well using MCP. Right now we can write formulas and everything like that, and it will be clearly shown in the next part where we'll discuss how to create this lead tracker template. You can delete rows, add rows, find and replace, get content and add content. There's so many more APIs like this. So just click on add now. Now this is the only tool that I'm connecting for now, but you can connect other Zoho apps by clicking here. Go to connection, you just have to now authorize. So authorize via connection and authorize now. allow MCP and accept. So now we can go to connect, and this is the URL to connect your MCP to the different places that you want to connect it to. Here are some options. This is Claude, Cursor, Windsurf, VS Code, and any other MCP client. So for now, for this setup, I'm just going to show you how to connect it to Claude. So let me copy this URL, go to Claude. So this is just the free plan that Claude gives you, and MCP is also again a free plan. I'm just connecting using my Gmail account. So click here, settings, go to connectors and add custom connectors. And given the URL and click on add. So it is now connected to your Claude. So these are the APIs that we selected first. All of them are here. So now let's just go back and let's ask Claude if you're connected to my MCP. So yes, you are connected to Zoho Sheet MCP server. I can read edit and automate your spreadsheet workbooks. Okay, so let's try this out now in here. So I'm just asking it to create a new workbook called Sheet. So let me just go in and check it in Zoho Sheet if it's getting added in. So let's see that in real. Yeah, it is asking you for permission. You can also select if you want to always allow it. So let's go back here and check. So yes, the sheet is now added here. So this is how you can use MCP server. This is just a simple example that I showed you how to use MCP server. We are going to see a full use case on this by creating a lead tracker inside your spreadsheet. I have that as a recording and I'm just going to play that for you so you get to know how to actually use MCP. So I've already shown you how to connect Zoho Sheet to Claude and work with it directly from its own interface. But now we're going to do the same thing from the VS Code. The reason I'm doing this here is because a lot of you who are developers or work with code already spend most of your time inside VS Code. So instead of switching between your editor and your AI tool, you can have Claude, Copilot, whatever it is, right here inside VS Code and work from there. Same MCP connection, I'm going to be using the same thing and show you how to create this lead tracker template. And if you do want to learn how to connect the MCP server to your VS Code, you can check it out here in Connect. And you can go to VS Code, you can check the instructions here and click on Add to VS Code, and you'll be able to add this MCP server to that. So that is how you connect it to the VS Code. So now I'm going to just open this chat. That is the chat window that has the MCP server connected. And I'm going to ask it to just connect to my MCP server. That is Zoho Sheet. So it's just giving me all the things that I've already searched for and telling me that it's already connected, and I can see all the workbooks inside your Zoho Sheet account, things that it's already created for me. And I'm going to show you the same thing but from scratch. This is the Zoho Sheet account that I have connected to my MCP. So whatever I create using that will be added in here. So let's go back here and ask it to create a new spreadsheet called leads tracker, and this is going to give me or ask me for permissions, so I can click on allow in this session and it'll do and give me the leads tracker. And the leads tracker spreadsheet is now created, and you can go to your Zoho Sheet account and see if it is there. This is the one it just created. You can open it now, but it's a blank spreadsheet because we haven't added anything in that yet. And we'll go on to add and given more prompts to make it work for us. I have a CSV file here, so I'm just going to copy that in here, and I'm going to ask it to add this data here and simply name this sheet leads data. Now you can click on allow once, but it's going to keep on asking you for permission every time it needs to do something inside your sheet. So you can click on default approvals and select bypass approvals. That'll keep it auto approved. So let's quickly go back to our sheet and see what's happening there. You can see that the data is getting added here. Once my data is in place, I'm going to ask it to create another tab where I'm going to say take it from the leads tab, and you're going to give me a summary table with the lead owner, the number of leads they have, what's open, what's closed, and everything that I need to know about this particular representative. And also the important part is using formulas for this. And I know as someone who uses formulas a lot, remembering everything, what to use, when to use, and how to use it is a really difficult task to do if you're someone who works with spreadsheets all the time and you have a lot of formulas as well and functions, and you need to ace that. This is the best way to do it because this really gives you the ability to work with a lot of different formulas without actually having to learn everything, and you'll be able to use all the complex formulas that you need without having to literally learn them one by one. And this can also tell you what formulas to use, when to use, which is a perfect one to use as well. So this is going to be absolutely useful if you're someone who loves using spreadsheet formulas and functions but find it difficult to use. So I'm going to say just use lookup functions, something like that whenever you want to pull in data from another tab. So make sure the relevant formulas are actually used in this. So that's exactly what I've said here, and I'm going to click on return. So that will go on to do all the things that I just asked it to do. One more thing that you can do with spreadsheets in LLMs is that, like let's say for Claude, as an example, you can set in projects inside Claude that are going to give you a set of instructions that will take care of certain things. Like let's say some things are very common to all the kind of data that you put in, or any instruction that you want to give in, it is always common to it whenever you enter data or whenever you want to change something. So in that sense, you can give in all the set of instructions that you want to give or that you want Claude to always follow when you do something. Just add that as a project and give in all the MD files or the instructions that you want to add in there. So it makes sure that it is getting followed. Now let's go to our sheet and see what's really happening in there. You can see that live. So let's see what are the formulas it's adding in, what's really happening to the sheet. We have the lead owners, the total number of leads, leads closed, open, and it's also adding in all the summary related metrics that I would need, the closed deal value and average deal value and the percentage as well. It can give you all the relevant formulas that you need, that you would probably need in all of your use cases. And if you're someone who is using lambda functions, let's say, or let functions, this is going to be definitely useful because that's something that a lot of people struggle to write as well. But once they really get the hang of it, they can almost create any custom function that they really want without actually having to write a single line of code. So that's going to be really something that's really useful for the users. So make sure you also try to play around with these formulas with Claude as well. You make sure ask it different questions, which would be the most relevant formula to use here, and ask that to put that in instead of giving in, okay, just use this formula or that formula. You can give in all the details and ask it to do exactly what it is that you want it to do. Now it has put in all the formulas, so let's check now. So the total number of leads, it is using the if condition, count ifs, and so much more. And everything is by a formula. You can also see the total. So now for this data, I'm just going to say make sure you're following the proper consistent formatting across the sheet, just using the appropriate colors and making it look presentable. So let me also just put that in. So that can give me more of a presentable look into my spreadsheet. This is how my sheet looks once I've applied the formatting that I wanted. Of course, we can change it once we've settled on the dashboard and everything. Before that, I want to add a couple of columns here to the leads data here, like the lead age and a couple of other things as well. So I'm going to also put in the formula, or ask it to put in the formulas right there, so we can get started with building the dashboard. Let me quickly just give in all the headers that I want in this particular table that to be added after the columns that we have. I want lead score, lead age, and I'm asking it to just add in the respective formulas for that as well. Now we have the relevant formulas added here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and build the dashboard that I really wanted to. And now I just want this to reference to both the leads data and the rep tracker tab. To put in the key numbers and format all these sheets so everything looks clean and consistent. So let's get to see that as well. And the dashboard is ready now, so let's just go over and have a look at that. So this is exactly what it has an overview from the leads and the deal value, the priority and health of that, and also from the rep tracker sheet as well. Obviously you can customize it based on whatever you want and move things around from here, but this is exactly what it can do. It can put in all the formulas that it needs to give you a proper dashboard like view. And I gave it very little reference to what it is that I exactly wanted, and it had an idea and it went on with it. You can obviously give whatever the formulas or any kind of customization that you want in this tracker or this template that you want to build using Zoho Sheet. So this is just a start. We're working on bringing conditional formatting, pivot tables, charts, and a lot more things after that. And once those land, this can become your full blown assistant that can build literally anything inside your spreadsheet and exactly the way you want it as well. So keep an eye out because what's coming is going to take this even further. So once it's out, we'll be doing another webinar hosting about the entire workflow that you can build with spreadsheets with all the APIs we'll have in the future. So you'll be able to build any tracker that you want based on the charts. We do have Zia Analyze, Zia Refine, and Zia Insights as well. We will be seeing that in the webinar. So stay tuned to watch until that as well, where you can add in charts and everything that you want. And once the template is ready, I'm just going to go back in here and I can also share it with anyone that I want. So I'm just going to say share it with this person and give them the edit access or whatever access that you want to set to them. And this can also share it for you directly from there. Let me go and check if this sheet has been shared with that person. That is me, of course. And let's just go click on share and you can see that I'm an external user, which is edit access. So this is how you can also share, and once the template is ready, I'm actually going to work in this template. So let's test a couple of things around here. So let's think of a use case to try and change things here and use Claude or any LLM here as your assistant that can help you update things around. So what I'm going to do is go to the leads tab, and what I would usually do is given the lead name and I would say convert this lead status to closed. So I'm just gonna go back in here and I'm going to say convert all of Sarah's leads to closed. So this can update, find and replace things for me as well. So now all of our leads are now marked as closed. So let's go back to the sheet and see their tracker. So Sarah Mitchell, she has 4 leads and 4 of them are closed. And that's really what I want you to take away from this. Everything you just saw with Zoho Sheet, from formulas to the dashboard, is a huge time saver on its own. And on top of that, the MCP connection isn't limited to just Sheet. You can also bring in other Zoho apps the same way, pull in leads from your CRM and work on that from Zoho Sheet. And then you can also share that with multiple people via mail or click or so much more. Just from one place, being able to control and genuinely make that work alongside you as an assistant. That's how you can use MCP and Zoho Sheet and other Zoho products as well. In the second section of our webinar, we'll see how and what is an AI. In the second session of our webinar, we'll see In the second section of our webinar, we'll see what is an AI agent and how to create your own custom agent using Zia Agents by including Zoho Sheet as one of it. And for the second section of our webinar, we'll see what is an AI agent and how to create a custom agent using Zia Agents by connecting Zoho Sheet, Zoho CRM. So for our use case, we will see a simple one. For the second section of our webinar, we'll see what is an AI agent. So for the second section of our webinar, we'll see what is an AI agent and how to connect Zia Agents with Zoho Sheet, Zoho CRM, and other Zoho apps as well. So an AI agent is something that can plan, make decisions, and complete tasks on its own without you having to be there with every step. So unlike the regular conversations that we usually have with your AI, it works independently. You can give it instructions and that can follow it accordingly. So that will take care of everything once you add in the tools that it needs. So let's move on to what is Zia Agent and how to connect to Zoho Sheet. So here again, we're going to give in a use case. In the second section of our webinar, we'll see how to connect Zia Agents to Zoho Sheet and other Zoho apps. But before that, what is an AI agent? It is something that can plan, make decisions, and complete tasks on its own without you having to be there every step of the way. So you can give in instructions for it so that it responds, and it also, takes care. In the second section of our webinar, we'll see how to connect Zia Agents to Zoho Sheet and other Zoho products as well. But before that, what is an AI agent? It is something that can plan, make decisions, and complete tasks on its own. So unlike the regular conversations that we usually have with our AI, where you just prompt and it responds, an agent can work independently. You can give in the set of instructions that you wanted to follow, and once you just ask it to do something, it will get all of that done. You can give in the right order that it needs to go in, and the job will be done as well. So let's move on to how to connect Zia Agents to Zoho Sheet. So in this use case, we'll see a simple one, of course, just to get the hang of what is Zia Agents and what you can do inside that. So we are going to just take in leads that I have inside a sheet in Zoho Sheet, and I'm going to just enrich them using an AI. That would be ChatGPT or Zoho hosted models or something like that. And I'm going to ask it to just collect information about the company, just giving in the company name. I'm going to ask it to add other data that is relevant to that can just fill in the leads data for me in the CRM. So that's the use case for today, and we'll see how to connect that to your Zia Agents. So once you land on the Zia Agents homepage, you've got two ways to create an agent. The first is to let AI build it for you. You just describe your use case, type it in right there, and it will spin up an agent for you. That's quick and easy, and then you can authorize your account. The second is to build one from scratch where you set things up yourself. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. So before you build any agent, you have to give in the models that you want to choose to create these agents. So let's go to settings and plans. You can choose a Zoho key system, or you can also bring in external LLMs using Zoho keys, or you can also bring your own keys. So let's see here. So this is exactly what I'm going to toggle on. So these are the available models under Zoho key system, and there are also external LLMs that you can bring in. These are some of the options to connect your own keys. So let's go back to home, and you can create an agent here, but we're going to go to Agent Studio and create one from scratch. And it's going to be leads sync agent. And I can also give in the description and model configuration as Zoho hosted for this, and the model that I want to choose out of these. And I'm also going to give in the agent role and agent instruction as the same from the description, and I can just change it once I create this agent. Continue. And the next one is you have an option to add a knowledge base to your agent. That is just like you create Claude projects and you add empty files to it. You can also add this here. First, you need to add in your knowledge base here, and you can click on and select things from here. So I'm not going to add in any knowledge base. We're just going to set in instructions for this agent to follow. Click on continue, and this is where you add your tools. So we're only going to have a simple use case to demonstrate what you can do inside Zia Agents. That is, collect leads from the sheet and just put it into my Zoho CRM. So I'm just going to select those both and a single API for both of them. So click on add tools, and I'm going to go to Zoho Sheet, and the only thing that I'm going to need is get worksheet content. This is the only API that I need to get all the content from there. That is all my leads, and I'm going to click on add. and one more tool that is from Zoho CRM, and that's going to be create leads. So let me just search for that. That is create leads records. So these are the two APIs that we'll need, or the tools that we need to make this agent. So click on add, continue. These are also additional settings that you can set, like do's and don'ts for your agent. You can add that if you want, and click on create. So this is your agent, and you're gonna change the instructions based on what you want. So let's say I'm just gonna edit it in a way that it understands that it needs to take in whatever data is inside my sheet to my Zoho CRM. So I'm just gonna click in there and add in my instructions there. So I've asked this agent to import all my leads from the sheet that I gave to CRM. And one more thing that I'm asking it to do is, before adding it to CRM, I want you to also fill in these information like annual revenue, website, the number of employees, and description, even though this is not really there in the data that I gave through Sheet. So it's going to use its own data to generate those details and add it in for me. So it's not just moving my leads over, but it's also making it richer than what I started with. Typically, your agent instruction is supposed to be longer than this, but since this is a small use case that I'm going to show you, I just gave in what I exactly want here. So you can click on save from there. So these are the two tools we added. So we're going to set parameters now. So there are three important parameters that you have to set for Sheet. And for CRM, we're just going to say the model will choose it based on the data that I wanted to add. So it's just going to take in data from this worksheet and it's going to add it into CRM. So three things that we need to give from the worksheet that you want the data to be taken from. So those three are your resource ID, your method, and the API method, and also the worksheet name. So the first one is your resource ID. If you do not know what a resource ID is, let's just go to this tracker that I have. This is the sheet that I currently have. What I'm going to do is take in everything that comes after this slash till this question mark, copy that, and that is my resource ID. And I'm going to go back to this agent and say that this is going to be a constant. The resource ID is going to be a constant because you're always going to look back to this sheet and enter that value there. And the method is there in your API documentation. If you check API help page in Zoho Sheet, so let me show you where to get that. So if you click on your profile, you will see developer API. So this is how you access your API guide. And under content APIs, you will get content of worksheet. So you can see its method here. So you can just simply copy that, worksheet.content.get, go back to your agent and set in your method. And that is it. And worksheet name, it is the sheet tab name. So I'm just going to go back and check what it is. It's leads here, just given the exact name. So it's going to be leads. And click save. Those are the only parameters you'll need for this agent that we're building. It will depend on the tools that you're selecting here. If you select a different API, it might require a different thing from there. So that is setting parameters. And to test this agent, we're just going to have to give connection to all of your tools that you just set in. So click on new, and I'm going to select the sheet there and reuse because I already used it. Otherwise, you'll just get an option to connect there. And the portal is Skittles, and click on new as well. Select it because I already gave it and reuse that connection, and click next. So this is your agent. You can access it from here, or you can also do one more thing, that is connect your ClickBot, and from there you can access your agent. But I'm just going to show you what it can currently do. So I'm going to ask it to just take in all the leads from my sheet and convert that as leads in my CRM. So just add all leads from my sheet to my CRM. Okay, so I have 9 leads in my sheet, and they've been imported with the annual revenue, website, and the number of employees and the description, which I did not initially give. So let's go to my CRM and let's just see here. So let's click on this lead here. So it originally did not have the annual revenue, or the website, and it just put in all this information itself. So like I said, you can also access the same chat through your Click bot as well. So you can create a bot specifically for this agent and access it from there. So I'm just gonna go to the agent again, and I'm gonna deploy it first. Deploy using connection, and click on next and deploy. So it's deployed. So what I'm going to do is go to integrate and click on chatbot, and I can create a Click bot from here. Give it a name, let's say leads data, and the same thing here as well. And I can click on create bot, and that will create this Click bot for me. Now we can go to Click. I'll search for it. So the name we gave was leads data, and continue, and you can ask it to do the same thing. But before that, let's go back to our data here. What I'm going to do is just simply delete this, so I can ask from that chat to, like convert that into leads here. So I'm just going to delete all of these here and click on delete. So let's go back to this chatbot and ask it to add all leads data from my sheet to CRM. Okay, so all 9 records from my sheet have been successfully added to the CRM. So let's go there and check again. So yeah, again, they're all added once again. So this is how you can use Zia Agents to create your own custom agents, but this is just an example for you to understand how this can be used. There are a countless amount of use cases that you can derive from this, and you can create agents for yourselves. You can connect other Zoho apps, and I don't know, do a lot of other things that you can do with these custom agents. So make sure you try it out, and if you have a lot of questions about this, you can also ask it to our support team, and reach out to the Zia Agents team as well. They'll be happy to help you with any doubts you have regarding this. So let's move on to the next section, over to Yanni from the other side. And moving on to the third section of the webinar, we have Zoho Sheet CLI. So back when we did not have the graphical user interface or GUI, that is clicking through buttons and icons to move through your app or go around it, we had command line interface where people just had to type in text-based commands to interact with the app. So those command line interface, they did not have a UI. So let's see how to install the Zoho Sheet CLI first, and I'll also tell you what is the real need of a CLI. So this is the Zoho Sheet CLI, and to install this into your terminal, you can just put in this command here. So if you copy and paste it there, this will install that for you. So once that's done, if you want to know what are the commands that we have, you can just put in help, and this will give you the list of all the commands we have, like worksheet, cell, checkbox, and all those things, and you can also type in everything that you want. So for an example, I'm just going to show you how to add in another thing as well. So just to create a new spreadsheet for you and show you how to work with this command line. So I'm just going to paste it here. So these are the set of commands I've written for this particular spreadsheet, that is a sales tracker. Here cell set to A31, this, that, you can keep on to adding these commands to make your spreadsheet. So these are the commands, like open this new workbook, worksheet rename to this, from sheet 1 to sales data. So these are the commands that I've used. And these spreadsheets will be saved in your computer as a file, as an XLSX file. We also have this capability with Claude, so we'll also show that with you as well. We can either add it to your Gemini CLI or your Claude code as well, and help it create spreadsheets based on our spreadsheet engine. So I also have a video for that. Let me quickly show that to you. Let me quickly show you how to add the skill file to Claude. So go to your profile here, click on settings, and go to skills, click on add, and upload a skill. So skill MD is my skill now, so click on open, and that is now added. So I'm going to go back to the chat and just give in the skill file that we just added in, that is ZSCLI. So I'm going to ask you to just create a simple sales tracker spreadsheet with conditional formatting, pivot tables, and more. The main difference between Claude using ZS CLI to produce these XLSX files versus the one that it usually gives you is that you have an option to add pivot tables. So usually if you ask the XLSX file that Claude generally gives you to add in pivot tables or anything, it won't be able to give you an editable pivot table or pivot table in that sense. You'll just be getting raw data or a table that has like all the data that it needs with the comparison that you asked for. But with this ZS CLI, you'll be able to add in the pivot tables that you want to. So this is the final sales tracker XLSX file that we have with all the formulas applied and everything. So here's the dashboard, by region, by rep, and all of these are actually pivot tables. So these are the charts. Let's quickly download this and open this in Zoho Sheet. Yeah, so this is all like conditional formatting that's applied, and then there's the dashboard with charts, and then there is also pivot tables by region, by product, and by rep as well. So this is the difference between the XLSX files that Claude gives you versus the ones that Zoho Sheet CLI scale files can give you. There's multiple options there. You can add in different kinds of conditional formatting. We have almost all the features that we support in Zoho Sheet. There's also data validation that you can add. There's so much more that you can add into this. And finally, we have Zia's Insights, Refine, and Analyze features. So Zia is our AI assistant right inside Zoho Sheet. You can get insights and clean your data and get analysis done as well. So let me quickly show you how to get that. So go to my sheet. So this is my data, and I just want to make sure that there are no duplicates and add in relevant formatting options and get insights from this. So I can click here, add in this data, and go to Zia over the right pane. Firstly, I have the insights option where I can add in charts, pivot tables, pivot charts, and just get insights like this as well. And I can also go over to refine. Here, if there is any inconsistency or any issue with duplicates, that would give you a list of that. Right now I don't have any, so I'm just going to create one myself. So yes, refresh. I would like to get the new one. So this is the duplicate record right here, the 6th row. So I can just delete it from here or move it or something like that. And next, let me select this data and go to the formatting options here. I can add in classic conditional formatting, or I can add in just table styles that I want, or anything of that sort. So that is Zia Insights, Analyze, and Refine features for you. That brings us to the end of this webinar where we've discussed 4 different things. To conclude, we saw how to use Zoho Sheet and MCP, where we connected Claude to MCP, and we tried to interact with that and ask it to create sheets for us. And we did the same using VS Code and Copilot from my account as well. And then we saw the second section, which was Zia Agents and creating a custom agent for ourselves. And third, we saw how to use the Zoho Sheet CLI, also include the Claude skill file into it, and then ask it to create spreadsheets using the spreadsheet engine that we have. And finally, we saw how to use Zia's Insights, Refine, and Analyze.